the Oskaloosa City Council to order. Today is Monday, November 3rd, 2025. We start with the invitation. Please bless us with quiet and considerate attitudes, well thought out deliberations, and ultimately decisions that are best for all concerned. We thank you for the blessing of those in the audience and watching the broadcasts, the leaders of businesses and organizations who have the vision and commitment to help our city, the countless volunteers who are motivated to help, and informed citizens who have given us the privilege of their trust and support. Tonight we assembled to combine the talents that you've given us for the benefit of Oskaloosa. May the words of our mouths and the meditation of our hearts be acceptable in your sight. Amen.
Amen.
Would you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Caligiuri.
Yeah.
Drost.
Yes.
Hermsen.
Yes.
Holmberg.
Yes.
Ibrahim.
Here.
Ocean.
Yes.
Alden.
Here.
Very good.
He didn't know if he was yes or here.
Present. I thought she was asking a question.
So, moving right along, community comments. This item is reserved to receive comments from the community for concerns whether or not they're on the current agenda. Community is encouraged to speak before the mayor and city council, asked to keep statements brief, time limited to no more than 3 minutes. Any questions are to be asked to the city staff, council members, or the mayor prior to speaking to the full council, so concerns can be properly researched and answered away from the meeting. Comments are to be directed to the mayor and city council only, and so we have yellow slips that are filled out ahead of time, and so I would call Brian Myers to the microphone.
Thank you, Mary. Fortunately, tonight you get to look at somebody a little uglier than Angie, our Main Street director tonight. So sorry you got to see this face instead of hers tonight. But I just wanted to speak on behalf of the Main Street tonight and tell you guys thank you for all the continued support you guys do. It does not go unnoticed by not only by the Main Street Board, by all the different programs and entities and the different divisions of it. For one, I want to start off and just say thank you for considering this core downtown improvement grant program. I know Sean's worked very, very tedious on this. But what a big feather in our cap to have for many business owners, many building owners as well going forward, to be able to have the opportunities and the availability to have the money to be able to improve downtown, not only from the facade side of it, but also from other exterior and entities that go along with this. So I want to say thank you for that, and we hope to kind of get the message out to a few more people with some of our different programs that we've been doing. I know our EV committee is made up of a bunch of wonderful character individuals, to say the least, and Janet can contest to that, for sure. Over the past year, Sean can as well, and that. But we do get a lot of things done. We're really focusing on our block grant and stuff there, getting around talking to businesses, and this is something that we hope to be able to promote for not only for the city but also for the Main Street District. Just wanted to quick let you know a couple things coming up. Super excited for next month when, one, you get to have Angie back for one, and not me. But second, might give you a little anticipation teaser that hopefully next month we can come back and hopefully be able to share some insights about announcement of a grant that we applied for that we're going to be the recipient of for one of our buildings on the main drag here. So I can't share any more than that until next month till it officially comes out, but we're looking very promising at being a recipient of maybe one there too. That being said, just a reminder too, with the Main Street, we've got the turning on the lights coming up November 22nd. Is that Saturday from 5 to 8? I think 6 p.m. sharp is when the lights will be coming on. And then also, Angie will be talking to you about the Lighted Christmas Parade as it's getting ready to rev up here on the 6th as well too. I'm going to throw it out there that we always need plenty of volunteers, and we encourage anybody and everybody from the city side, from any organization that you're a part of, church group, and that the more we can get involved, the more we just make this a true homely Hallmark type feel. And we have got one of the best momentums going, I think, right now with Main Street District and just with the city and so many things right now that, you know, having a cap off to 2025 with the Lighted Christmas Parade is definitely something that, you know, we look forward to every year, you know. And I know it's not easy for several people. I know our chief over here, he's got his hands full with everything as well, and logistics and the city, the grant and stuff too. But yeah, so if you got anybody in mind or an organization that you know that can help out, be sure to reach out to Angie, any one of our board members as well too. And last, just real quick closing, from the Main Street side, this wasn't in any of my notes, but I want to thank Sean for his service that he's done for Main Street and serving on our board as he's stepping off now, I do believe, unfortunately. But he's been a very instrumental role model for a lot of us, with a lot of answers to questions that we don't know and have. And so not only on behalf of the board members, as some of the committee members and a friend, I say thank you very much for all your dedication to it. And I know you're not going anywhere, but we truly appreciate having you be a part of this organization. So with that, I will yield back my time.
Okay, thank you very
Thanks,
much.
Brian.
Okay. Next up is the consent agenda. These are items that are all routine in nature and not very controversial, all handled in a single motion. There isn't anything on here I felt the need to call out. Do we have a motion of support?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Roll call, please.
Drost,
Yes.
Hermson,
Yes.
Holberg,
Yes.
Ibrahim,
Yes.
Ocean,
Yes.
Almond,
Yes.
Caligiuri.
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Next up is the announcement of vacancies we have on various boards and commissions. The Airport Commission, we have a vacancy ending in December of 2028. The Building Code Board of Appeals, a vacancy for an ex officio member. Mahaska County Solid Waste Management Commission, there's one vacancy for a term that's ending in December of 2025. And the Civil Service Commission, there's a vacancy for a term ending in March of 2029. Getting into the regular agenda, first up is a consideration of a motion to receive and file the fiscal year 2025 audit report and authorize a payment to Martins and Company. Let's see, I believe we got Richard Atterbury. Yep, there he is up on screen. The floor is yours.
All right, thank you. I assume everybody can hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, good. I'm Richard Atterbury, CPA. I've been the managing partner of Martins and Company, CPA firm in West Des Moines, Iowa, that performed the audit on the city of Oskaloosa. For your information, as of today, we have merged with some other CPA firms. We're now known as Haggett Comer as of today, but that has no bearing upon the report for last year. We just wanted to throw that out there to you. Wanted to thank all the staff, Sean and Pam and all, for all their help and cooperation in performing the audit. Everyone was helpful and things were organized well for us. Just kind of give you a quick rundown on the report. It's very similar to the reports of recent years in terms of format. Is pretty much the same. The report that if you have it there, it starts out with this is the officials, and then there's the independent auditor's report, which is our opinion upon the financial statements. Our opinion is shown as what we call an unmodified report on the primary government. You may notice that there's because the waterworks is not included with your audit report, because they have a separate audit report, that we have an adverse opinion that those aren't included, but it never has been included long back, as far as I can recall, that it's ever been included. And the primary government is the city itself, and that's what we express our opinion on. And it was the opinion that you want to receive, what we call an unmodified opinion. That means we don't modify the opinion for something we didn't feel was presented properly. After that section, we have what we call the management's discussion and analysis. That's always the section that I would encourage all of you to read through. That gives you a kind of a synopsis of what the rest of the report says. It gives you a summary of what the numbers are. It gives you a little bit of explanation about why certain things may be up or why certain things are down. So if you want to get a quick read through what it is, those pages, you can read through those without having necessarily read through the whole report. Following that is the basic financial statement, which is the primary financial statements of the city. And there's the government-wide financial statements, which includes all your funds, and then there's a statement on governmental funds, and the statement on proprietary funds. Proprietary funds are your utilities, the sewer and stormwater, etc. Following the financial statements are the notes to the financial statements, which is a lot of narrative and schedules that support some of the information in the financial statements, and give some explanation about certain things related to the financial statements. Following that is other information, which is probably the most significant part of that is the comparison to budget. And the city did not go over budget, which is good. You're not supposed to, so that was good. And after that is supplementary schedules. Those are kind of more detailed schedules on some of a lot of the smaller funds and some of the other funds, breaking down as far as what makes up some of the other funds, particularly like the capital projects. It breaks it down by project and how much you received and spent in each project, and also it includes what we call the schedule of expenditures of federal awards. This audit has been in recent years is what we refer to as a single audit, because you receive or spend in excess of $750,000 of federal funds, you're required to have what we call a single audit, and that requires a separate schedule as far as the federal grant money that you received and what was spent in the last fiscal year. And towards the back of the report is some other opinion stuff on dealing with internal controls and major programs dealing with the single audit and schedule findings. We didn't have any findings of anything significant that need to draw to your attention. Things were pretty clean, so there wasn't any findings. The only thing probably, you could have it with yours. Nope, now there's nothing, just the standard saying that basically you complied with all the requirements in the findings section. Just kind of summarize, overall your cash balances were up 21%, or about $6.2 million. The largest increase occurred in the capital project funds, with the biggest portion coming from the fact that you had borrowed money for the Southeast Connector right towards the end of the year, so you really hadn't spent any of that money yet. So that had a lot to do with why your cash balances were higher, just because you borrowed the money, but the project's going to be mainly fiscal 26 expenditures. General fund increased about 5%, which is a smaller increase in the prior year, but still decent. There was some of your increases also were due to a couple of pretty substantial donations that were made to the city that those funds haven't been used yet. But overall, the general fund receipts were actually down from the prior year, but disbursements were higher. But the fund was still able to show an overall increase despite those facts. Total receipts increased by $3.4 million. Again, that's a good chunk of that relates to the GO bond that was issued right at the end of June. Program disbursements decreased about $400,000, or about 2%. And again, that generate from capital project costs, because prior year we had the 7th Street project going on and Edmondson Park project going on, so the disbursements were a little bit less in the capital projects, but capital projects are funds that can fluctuate a lot from one year to the next, depending on what's going on with the city in terms of projects, or sometimes you may have a lot going on, but it doesn't get going as quickly as you anticipate, whatever. But, overall, the debt load increased by about $2 million. Again, that with the new GO loan at the end of June. But overall, I think the city appears to continue to be in a good, sound financial position. So I think it's a good report. So nothing in there that stands out that I think is a problem or anything for the city. So that's kind of what I have to present as a summary. I'll be happy to try and answer any questions if anybody has anything.
Yeah, Lisa.
I'm just glad I didn't become a CPA. Thought about it in college. You mentioned 2 large substantial donations. What page is that on?
It would have been towards the back of the report. It would be in pages, I believe it's 60 and 61. There's
Okay.
the Fireback Family Memorial. 380,000 in the public library. There's 462,000. It's shown as miscellaneous, doesn't specifically say it was a donation. I think there could be but that's primarily what those numbers represent.
So the column that says miscellaneous gifts?
Oh, the line item.
It's,
There are 2
The line
items.
item.
One's fire bass and then one's
Where is
public
it?
memorial.
I'm looking at page 61.
Like the last column on page 60 on the top right.
On the top right, Lisa, it says
Of which page?
fire best
60.
60.
60.
Okay. Oh, okay.
And then 2 columns over to
Okay.
the public library.
And then the memorial.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I had heard that mentioned earlier last week, so, okay, good.
Other questions for Richard? Okay,
Thank
very
you.
good. Thank you very much, Richard.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
So the item of business has to do with a motion to receive and file the audit report, authorize a payment of $11,400 to Martin and Company, and $850 to the Auditor of State. Do we have support for that?
So moved. Second.
Okay, any discussion? Roll call, please.
Thompson,
Yes.
Holbert,
Yes.
Ibrahim,
Yes.
Ocean,
Yes,
Almond,
Yes.
Caligiuri,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Item B, this is to consider an ordinance rezoning property at 807 North 11th Street and 610 North 10th Street from R1 Suburban over to Residential District and PI Public Institutional District. And so there's a public hearing on this as well. Make sure I've got this right. 7 North. Yeah, here we go. So we got First Christian Reformed Church submitting a rezoning application for the 2 adjoining parcels. And so they prefer matching the PI zoning on all 3 parcels to help accommodate a new youth center. Planning and Zoning held their public hearing on October 7, voted to recommend approval by a 9-0 vote. And so the packet included the line of reasoning on that. So anyway, this requires a public hearing. Is there anyone who would like to speak on this tonight? Okay, seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Do we have support for this first reading of this rezoning request?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Roll call, please.
Holbert,
Yes.
Ibrahim,
Yes.
Ocean,
yes,
Almond,
Yes.
Caligiuri,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Hermson,
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Item C. This is to consider a resolution scheduling a public hearing for November 17th of 2025, rezoning property at 953 11th Avenue West and 1107 11th Avenue West from GI General Industrial District and R2 General Residential District to an LI Limited Industrial District and an R2 Planned Use Development General Residential District Planned Unit Development. This is something that was scheduled for tonight to have this hearing. However, there was an error in the publishing and it did not make its way into the Oskaloosa Herald. And so this is a vote then to reschedule the hearing for the next meeting of the City Council, which would be on November 17th. So do we have a motion of support for that?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Ibrahim?
Yes.
Ocean?
Yes.
Coleman?
Yes.
Caligiuri?
Yes.
Dross?
Abstain?
Carmson?
Yes.
Holbert?
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Item D. This is to consider a resolution approving the anti-degradation report for the long-term wastewater facility plan. Staff received and advertised a draft of the anti-degradation report from Strand Associates. It's required for the development of the new wastewater facility that's outlined in the long-term wastewater facility plan. The report will be used by the Iowa Department of Natural Resources to ensure no unnecessary pollution is added to the adjacent waters from the new facility. In order to accept the plan and submit it to DNR, the report has to have a public comment period of 30 days followed by an action on the council to accept the report. Start of the public comment period was advertised on October 4th of 2025. No comments have been received from the public. Staff is recommending approval of the anti-degradation report. Do we have a motion of support?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion on it? Roll call, please.
Ocean?
Yes.
Coleman?
Yes.
Caligiuri?
Yes.
Dross?
Yes.
Carmson?
Yes.
Holbert?
Yes.
Ibrahim?
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Item E. This is to consider approving an amendment to the 2022 wastewater treatment facility plan and the associated documentation that goes with it. So staff received amendment number 1 to the treatment facility plan from the consulting engineers, Strand Associates. Amendment revises the plan to reflect the current design specified by council and update the planned construction permit schedules and the SRF intended use plan documentation. Changes are all related to the change in design from previous iterations, including 2 plant design, the 1 plant design at the north site, and the current design at the south site, and additionally update various other small items that have arisen during the design process. Staff recommends approval of this. Do we have a motion of support?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion on this?
Is this the one we're waiting on another?
So,
Yeah.
we did contract McClure to do a second opinion on the design. They actually were waiting on some of this documentation to wrap up their second opinion of the design. So, it is what we're looking for that information from, but this kind of, we can keep going with this process. These aren't major changes that can be revised again if we do decide to go a different way, but, in order to keep ourselves on track for the potential construction, we wanna.
But you're still waiting on another, did you reach out to another firm or something to?
Right, we're engineering and contracted them to review the plans and give a second opinion essentially. But a part of their review, they wanted these documents before
Okay.
they finished
All right.
the review, so.
Okay.
Any
So
other-
it doesn't impact, I mean, we're working simultaneously.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Other comments? Roll call, please.
Coleman?
Yes.
Caligiuri?
Yes.
Dross?
Yes.
Carmson?
Yes.
Holbert?
Yes.
Ibrahim?
Yes.
Ocean?
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Item F. This is to consider a resolution approving the Core Downtown Improvement Grant Program Plan. So, the program describes the proposed eligibility, terms, and process for a new community-oriented revitalization and enhancement, thus the CORE acronym, Downtown Improvement Grant Program. It offers up to a $50,000 reimbursement towards qualifying exterior improvements to existing buildings. All the work would require a 50% owner match, except for the architectural and engineering services. That would require a 20% owner match. Over a 3-year period, the program could generate an additional $1.5 million investment to preserve and enhance the Oskaloosa's downtown area buildings. Grant applications would be reviewed by a committee consisting of the city and the chamber and Main Street staff to provide recommendations to council for final approval. Recommendation is to approve the resolution to advertise the grant program and start getting applications. Do we have a motion of support?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion on this?
Does this come out of Sean's budget?
Which one?
That one.
I have one question. Is there, I've been looking through all of this, is there anything that stipulates the building must be then occupied and used? We have a number of very nice empty buildings. But, you know, in other words, empty buildings don't generate revenue. So is there
Sean's
anything?
you're getting him up, Lisa.
Okay.
I think it just says owner.
Owner, I know that. I know there has to be matching, but is there any stipulation, like within a year, there must be a lease or a viable business?
In the program plan, there is not. And-
Okay.
And I went back and forth, and it's easy to get in a rabbit hole.
Right, right.
Stipulate or not. But what I landed on was we would like to, if we have a vacant building and somebody needs funds to renovate that building to prepare it for occupancy, this could be one step
Yep.
of several for someone to get to that
Right.
point. So I didn't want to limit the funds to not be able to be used on a vacant building. There's a stipulation in there that there must be commercial on the first floor. So that
Okay.
would be part of it as well.
So that actually wasn't my question. Like, I understand why a vacant building could need this. I don't want them, whoever's getting this grant, to leave the building vacant. You see what I mean? Otherwise, we have pretty shells.
So
Is there anything after the grant that within a year?
Yeah, so I think what we'll do is there will be an agreement, a development agreement.
Okay.
Prepared specifically for each project that's awarded. And there would be stipulations in there that would require them to occupy the building for a period of time. I would work with Dave Dixon's office on that.
Okay, okay,
That's a good idea.
yeah, yeah. Like I said, we just need to be encouraging business in that, and so that kind of generation, you know. Yeah, sounds good.
One thing I like about it, I think of the old, I call it the Staps building, Wilcox Garland. It's where Yarsma recently, about a year ago bought that building, and the back wall was collapsing and had foundational issues. And I think in our first phase of the facade, of the Main Street facade program, we had some issues to where you make this pretty facade, but then another wall falls out. And I think that, and I mean, I remember those were discussions with Main Street and that program is we're investing all this money in the front, but we're not paying attention to the back side of the building. And I think that this program allows for that. And I liked how you explained that this could potentially be, for some of these owners, could be an incremental, because if the back wall's falling out, they're never gonna fix the inside, or you're not going to be able to occupy it if we don't get that first phase done. What I also like there's a limitation of $50,000 too. So I don't think the intent is like the intent isn't that you're going to fund a full $1.5 million to one project type of a thing. I think there's a lot of flexibility here that I really like. John, well done.
Yeah, and actually with construction today, 50,000 might not be enough.
Right.
So, but it's a good start. And like I said, I just wanted to see that it's generating, income.
A recent example, if I could, Mayor, is the second floor of Town Square Dental, you may recall, replaced those arched windows. I don't remember how many there were several. And they're decorative windows with the arched top. They're about 10 feet tall, and they were $10,000 each.
Yeah. That's why most buildings, they're just squared off. Yeah.
Really appreciate the effort put into this, especially with all the emphasis we have on the downtown and how much money we've invested in it. So great to see this come to fruition.
Yeah, and if it can help, like you said, if it can help finish the building, that, I mean, maybe add some upstairs living or anything, that would be good too.
Absolutely.
Any other comments or questions? Okay, thank you, Sean.
Thanks,
Roll call,
Sean.
please.
Caligiuri,
Yes.
Dross,
Yes.
Hermsen,
Yes.
Holbert,
Yes.
Ibrahim,
Yes.
Ocean,
Yes.
Holman,
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Item G is to consider an ordinance regarding alternative enforcement action. This is the second reading of it. Proposed ordinance in chapter addition would grant the Oskaloosa Police Department the authority to issue civil notices of violation in place of a traditional citation or municipal infraction that enables violators to pay a set civil penalty directly to the city. Purpose is to streamline enforcement, it reduces the court caseloads, and then offers a more efficient and cost-effective option for addressing minor offenses. This model is based on similar ordinances that are in use by several nearby communities, including Ottumwa and Bluefield. The ordinance formally institutes the regulations by amending the Oskaloosa Municipal Code Title 10, having to do with vehicles and traffic, adding Chapter 10.77, having to do with alternate enforcement action. And it goes after and simplifies minor traffic violations, animal violations, and nuisances. This is the second reading. Staff is recommending approval of the ordinance. Do we have a motion of support?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Chief, I was just curious how many people watch our, did you have anybody reach out to you after this and
Yeah, I was curious too.
A whole lot of silence so far.
Okay.
We had no comment on that whatsoever.
Okay.
I know there were a few people in the crowd. I didn't hear any conversation after the last meeting, but usually things like this I would get emails. I haven't got any.
Okay.
Thank you for the question.
Before you go, Chief, go ahead,
Yeah.
John.
Mine's not for him, so you go.
I was just going to ask, I think you talked about it before, but if the individual gets a citation and for whatever reason they don't pay, what are our remedies for that?
So if it is a violation such as a traffic violation where they would normally get a state citation through our computer system, we would just reissue that state citation so they could still have a chance to go to court. They could dispute it in the normal way. If it's something like an animal leash law, open burning, that would be referred to Dave's office for a municipal infraction, which is the only way that we can enforce it currently. So we would always give them the opportunity to take care of it the easy way, and if they choose not to, or if they want to dispute it, then we would just refer it to the old way, and they could dispute it.
Okay. So that way if someone feels like, oh, I'm being targeted, Joe just thinks I'm a nuisance and wants you to issue me a ticket, I can protest it.
I'll give you a ticket.
Just today, the fire chief and a couple of my officers were in the east. There are a couple of dogs present that were already deemed dangerous. There's nothing we could do with that at the time, and there was an open burning complaint. There's nothing we could do with that at the time either. So this would allow us to more quickly work on some of these nuisances because the community is crying for solutions.
Yes.
We don't always have them.
Right. So that way, with this, then you could just write out that citation, here you go, and so at least it's a, some type of punishment.
Absolutely. And then when we get questions on this, because we do get questions on enforcement sometimes, we can tell them this is exactly what happened. It
Right.
makes it a little bit easier to communicate with the public.
Right. And it gets you thinking twice, if there's no consequence, just keep doing it.
Right. Or if it's weeks down the road. sometimes.
Does this increase the load, or, I mean, they're gonna write the tickets anyway, right? This isn't really increasing the load on your guys, is it?
It won't increase the load, it'll allow them to address it immediately instead of waiting for it. So for the deal today, one of my officers has to send me an email on exactly what happened. I have to send it to Dave. Dave has to look at it, make sure he can file an infraction. So it's just a long process where now it's basically like writing a ticket.
Okay, good deal.
Actually, I guess question, so what if they want to contest it? So let's say they go, just write me a ticket, then change your mind. Actually, I changed my mind, let's go the old way, the hard way.
Yeah,
Would you still like write up the report and do all that paperwork that you didn't have to do previously?
It would go back to the same.
Okay,
so we would still do an email or a
Right.
report, send it to Dave's office.
Gotcha. Okay.
But this
What is our process going to be to like track this and make
Yeah, that's what I
sure
was
like
gonna
the
ask.
systematic approach to it? Because if it's going to the city for payment now, how do we make sure like the systems are synced?
So we are working on that still. We are
Okay.
trying to get that. We have to work with several agencies to get it worked into our computer system. We don't know yet if that's going to happen right away. So we have a form set up. We can use Microsoft Forms. We can actually just file it that way and the data's all secure. But we're trying to make it so in our normal tracks system, is what it's called, we can file it as a city ordinance violation instead of a state violation. Then it doesn't go to the auditor's office and they don't have to deal with it.
Okay.
And then the staff here will have access to that.
Yes.
Okay.
And then my question too, just because as a professor you had to enforce rules, and if you had numbers behind your rules, that always helped. Will the officer then be able to say, no, hey, this is your third, complaint, or will you have access to that
Yes,
when you?
the idea would be, currently if we stop somebody for a traffic enforcement violation, dispatch has access to all the records and we can pull them up as well.
Mhm.
The idea would be the same, that they could pull up the database, whatever that database looks like, we haven't figured out and finalized that yet.
Right.
But they would have access to that right then and there.
Right.
And
'Cause that always helps,
Yes.
Because I know on the speeding, they know my previous speeding.
Well, there might be cases when, whether it's a third or fourth violation, it's still okay to issue some of those.
Mhm.
Because speeding, turn signal violations, red light, things that are fairly minor. In a ton where there are people that request it every single time they're stopped because they just want to take care of it as quickly as possible and move on with their lives.
Mhm.
So I know some specific examples in a tunnel where I've been told that.
So Chief Database, I know we're on the second reading, when are you hoping to roll this out? When are you hoping to?
We're working with the judge and we're working with the auditors and the state office right now, so I don't have a date for that
Okay.
set. We're just waiting on answers from them on how it's going to work and how it can work.
Okay.
Okay.
Other questions, comments? Okay, thank you very much, Chief.
Yeah, thank you.
Do we have motion of support for the second reading?
So
So,
moved.
second.
Oh, we,
Already got it.
Already
Okay,
got it.
roll call, please.
Dross,
yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Holmberg,
Yes.
Ibrahim,
Yes.
Ocean,
Yes.
Almond,
Yes.
Calgery.
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Gets us to the end of our regular agenda. City staff, city manager, anything?
Tomorrow's elections, I know that we'll have at least one new council member. With Andy, we did some onboarding, the mayor and I, and both days, we need to do some training, just kind of that comprehensive, there's a lot, as you guys know, to becoming a council member, so we kind of started with that, and I think that was pretty helpful. So we'll do that we'll schedule that with the new council member. And then we'll also get some trainings assigned. The state has some new required trainings, which are great, by the way, I took them. So we'll get that set up. And there's also a lot of material that you probably remember, Andy. There's a lot to read, but it's all helpful to getting someone ready to go as much as possible when January rolls around. So we'll get that going. The other thing I wanted to mention is I'm planning to send you all a questionnaire, which is more or less just like a brainstorming paper.
Okay.
Because as a new council with a new person, we want to make sure that person has the opportunity to, consider the current strategic plan, add in their ideas. So it's kind of just a brainstorm again and make sure that
Sure.
do we want to make any adjustments to the strategic plan, and so it's just a good process. So I'll send that out in December, and then I will compile the information that you provide me, and then we can do like a work session to talk about what you provided. So just a couple of things like that.
Okay. Very good, thank you. City clerk, anything? Okay, city attorney.
I would have nothing, thank you.
Okay. Moving on down the line. The boo.
Election. Get out and vote.
Short and sweet. Rhonda.
Nothing.
Okay.
No,
Bob?
sir, thank you.
Just that tomorrow you have the right to exercise your civic duty, so get out and vote.
Andy?
Thank you, first responders. Appreciate what your teams are doing and what you guys are doing, and just can't be said enough. And then I would just briefly share, I got to attend an MCRF board meeting on last Monday, and it was quite informative, and a couple of the highlights, actually you might have had one, sounds like that National Little League Girls Softball Tournament is, if it's not a done deal, it's really close, and
Done deal.
yeah,
Whoa.
so
Oh, this is
it's a big deal. 13
Big.
states will come to Oskaloosa and
Yep.
play softball for a week.
Yep.
Pretty cool. And then the other thing I just wanted to share is in 23, MCRF registered like 48,000 visitors out there. In 24, they registered like 55,000. So, I mean, we're talking over 100,000 people in the last 2 years. So that's a nice impact on our community, and just goes to show what those recreation facilities can do for us.
You just wait till those 13 states get here.
Right, Joe.
Yeah.
Dan?
That would be it for me.
Thank you. I don't have anything.
Okay, Lisa.
Yes, thank you on the water main. I think you were jinxed last week, or last meeting, Kelly, on that. And that's the only thing my husband pays attention to. He calls it a panic, like what's happened to the water, and that. And I get a text from Sean, and so it was up and running. But boy, when you see that crud coming out of here, you realize the absolute need and dependency you have for water. And then I want to brag up our neighborhood. Okay, Andy used to live in my house back when he was a kid, and so trick or treat night, and I try to explain this, and you've got to be there to experience it. I brought my granddaughter out; she was thrilled. Lori, whose husband has handed out cans of soda for 32 years.
Wow.
He's got grandchildren of the people coming, and the dancing on the roof, and all of that. So Lori keeps the statistics for the neighborhood. She gave out to kids only 1,344 cans of soda. Okay, that was over $700. I am shrewd when I buy things, and I was determined not to run out this year, but we did. I spent $200 at Aldi's, Menards, and Fairway, got the maximum impact for everything, and we still ran out at 7:15. So I've heard from the neighbors, we'd maybe like to shut off some of the streets or do something, for some safety, though I know we're 2 blocks from the hospital, so there's that as well. If there's some way we could subsidize some of us, because some people would like to do the spirit of it, but that amount of money is a lot to ask. But it is a wildly successful, just private, Halloween. But like I said, 1,344.
Well, that's a lot of pop.
Yeah, I know. Poor Lori was down for like 2 days. She had to get her cousin who works for the corrections facility in Wisconsin to tell the adults, no, you can't have pop. It's only for the kids. But it was really, really fun. Some of my neighbors are Halloween Scrooges on that, but the kids just light up. And when you tell them that, choose from a candy, it's really something. So anyway, so thank you, Oskaloosa parents.
And just to finish up the night, reiterating what's already been said, for Oskaloosa, if you haven't voted already, as 900 and some odd people already have, tomorrow is voting day. I'm sure that the folks who are on the ballot probably got an email saying that with a link that there's a Google Sheets that's being set up for that. They had encouraged folks saying it probably wouldn't be until 9:30 p.m. before there would be any results out. And I guess I'm not sure when they start counting absentee ballots, but if they wait until the booths close, the voting places, that could be a while. So it might be a late night. Sympathies go out to them. Yeah, I guess it's not fair to offer to count your own ballots. The other thing, I wanted to do a special call out to Lisa Ocean. That we had the traveling display from the Hoover Library that had been in town for a month. And then she did a presentation on the 30th of October that my wife Jane and I attended, and you did a fantastic job. Thank you for doing a great job with that.
Yeah, it was on the bipartisan friendship of Herbert Hoover and Harry Truman, and which one of my political friends says, today sounds like a work of fiction, but it's what gave us UNICEF and the Marshall Plan and has made this world a better place. And those 2 men were Midwesterners. So with that, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Move.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.
Mayor, who's our